Hey gang, today we are taking a look at Transformers Energon Mirage. Now this character was a reformat of a very heavily damaged Tidal Wave. Even though Tidal Wave didn't really look all that damaged in the show, he got reformatted into this boat anyway. Like all Decepticons, Mirage does have a hyper mode. Now I don't have the missiles installed, I only have 3 of them right now. The other one is at the bottom of a storage bin somewhere. I have it, I just couldn't find it. So to deploy this guy's hyper mode, we first need to come to the back here and fold down these fins. Now, you can fold them down like this, or you can unpeg them from the rest of the back of the vehicle and completely fold them out flat like this. Now, if you do that, you're going to lose some stability in the back of the vehicle mode. Then to complete it, you push this button in the front of the boat to deploy the missiles. And that's it. That is the hyper mode. Of all the Decepticons in this size class, Mirage has one of the most unique transformations. To start off with, we'll go into the back of the figure and unpeg the bits that the wings that would form the hyper or part of the hyper mode, like that. And then we can come up to the front, and normally when you unpeg it, it'll actually split the hull of the ship, which is what you want. So once you do that, then you can grab this yellow section where the missile launchers are and fold that all the way out like that. Next, take the section that the hulls are on, and they're on double hinged ball joints, so fold them all the way out like that. Okay, now this is where things get a little bit crazy. What we're going to do is, here's the canopy where the cabin is for the boat. Then there's a section above that. Grab that section above it and fold it forward just on top of the canopy until it lightly snaps into place. Then take the whole section, the wings, the canopy, and the purple parts above it, and rotate them 180 degrees up towards where the bow of the ship used to be. Then get the hull parts of the ship out of the way, and you could just pop them off because they're on ball joints. Then take this whole section, actually no, don't do that, I'm sorry. Before you do that, reach down here to the under part of what was the ship and grab the legs and rotate them 180 degrees. Then grab the whole section and move it such that it's out of the way. And take the missile launcher section, pull it all the way out, rotate that 180 degrees, and then fold it down, and then fold it back up. And if you don't screw up like I just did, it should work. No, actually, I didn't really screw up. What I did was I just folded it too soon. So take this yellow part, push it down towards the back of the knees, fold this section up, then right in front of the missile launchers, you break it to form the back, and then there's a peg hole there that the back of the head will peg into. Okay, so once you get everything situated so that the hull pieces are pointing out towards the back of the figure, you can then reach back at the bottom of the feet and fold out the feet and the heels like that. Then, after that, you can take these sections that are just above the canopy for the boat, I'm sorry, the cabin section for the boat, and fold them out, down along the head, and then down into what would be the armpits. And then you can slide out the fists. So we're going to fold out, down, and then in. And be careful because the head will come unpegged. And fold out the fist. Mirage in robot mode is pretty cool looking, but he's very, kibble-tastic. And what I mean by kibble-tastic is he's got a lot of his alternate mode just hanging off of him. Literally. You have an entire hull of a ship hanging off of your backside. If that's not kibble, I don't know what is. That's not saying that the vehicle mode is, or I'm sorry, the robot mode is bad. I quite like it, though there are a few issues, and I'll get into that in a minute. But overall, the look of the robot mode is pretty cool. I've never been really sure what to make of Mirage's face. It looks like he's some kind of evil scuba diver. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's just an odd head in the fact that it's all black, then it has this random dark blackish green eyes with gold and purple. Yes, those are his colors. There's no light. Well, no, there is light piping. It's just so dark. The plastic is so dark, you're not going to really get anything out of it. It's not a bad head, mind you. It's just a very odd one. If the giant boat halves sticking off of the butt of the figure is not your thing, thanks to the double ball joint, you can get the boat halves just sticking straight up along his back. And he has actually displayed that a couple of times in the show. I have seen him do that, and it is a nice, well, okay, I'll be honest, it's a space saver for the shelf. That's what I did. That's why I do it. But I have seen him do this in the show, I think once or twice. But it still looks really silly having part of a boat sticking up your butt or back. In robot mode, he can display his hyper mode. Well, here on the wrists, or lower arms, I should say, he's already got missile launchers. But then you can come to the back of the figure and push the button to deploy the missile launchers that you have in boat mode up along his back. And that is a nice touch. Just getting them back into position can be a little bit of annoyance, especially if they don't lock into place on the first try. Posability-wise, he is pretty good given that he's got so much kibble hanging off of him. The head is on a swivel. There is a ratchet here at the shoulder, but be careful like you just saw, as it will pop up. There's a swivel for in and out movement. There's a double hinge for the elbow, and unfortunately the wrist doesn't move, but the entire lower arm will twist. There's a ratchet in the hip. There is a swivel that comes unpegged all the time. Above the knee bends, though not easily, and then there's a bending in the foot. Now, as you can see, this is the one issue or one of the issues I really do have with this figure. He's kind of like Waspinator. He just wants to drop limbs at the drop of a Energon hat. Now, that being said, this is actually a very interesting figure. It's not perfect by any means, and it is, I think, over-kibbled. I think there's too much stuff hanging off of him. But he's an interesting figure, and I do kind of dig him. He's not perfect, like I said, but he does come as a repaint, this weird gray boat repaint, that I don't really like the gray on it. I much rather have this purple figure. So overall, would I recommend this guy? That is a really tough call. Even though I like this figure, there are problems with it, and the transformation is crazy but enjoyable. But I'm going to have to say pass on him simply because just go get the original Tidal Wave. Don't bother with this figure unless you absolutely have to have him. But go get the original Tidal Wave from Armada. That's a vastly better figure.